Never had grace and never had faith at all. Until I met you, life was so strange. My thoughts rearranged and all my dreams came true here by your side. I don't need to hide as long as we're together, holding on tight and try as they might. Our ties can't be severed now.
Hello and welcome to Moral Retrograde. This is the demo for a visual novel made by the same dev as Wrong Number, for which we had also played the demo on the channel, but with a completely different setting and tone, I would say. As the title suggests, this game will test our morals and we will deal with a love interest with amnesia. So yeah, thought this was very interesting. Now, to be honest, this is not a complete blind run for me because I was able to test an early version of the demo back in August, but I think this one is a bit longer. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, so we are able to choose our appearance because this is a gender fluid main character. I'm going with the masculine one and with the pronouns he, him. With character selection? Yes, let's go. I've always hated the rain. It drowns out the voices of those that call for help and leaves them alone in the cold. Alone. That's how I've ended up again. But for a brief period of time in my life, I had someone. Someone to love, someone that loved me. And finally, I felt like I wasn't alone. But I took it all for granted. I got used to the comfort of his company, his smile, his voice, his loving gaze. I expected him to prioritize me, to always put me first, just like I did him. But I was wrong. I wasn't a priority. Was I ever a priority? I don't know. I just wanted him to look at me again. So I did something. Something stupid. Something to get his attention back. But it wasn't the right thing to do. Why did I do it? How could I have done something so stupid? When he left, his hate-filled eyes burned a hole so charred that it scorched a terrible scar on my memories. I'll never forget it. Alone. That's how I've ended up again. I blow my nose and wipe my tears from my eyes before picking up my phone. Hello? Evening, this is Ellie from St. Daniel's Hospital. Am I speaking to Harper Vince? Yeah. You're listed as an emergency contact for Mr. Ian Ames. A lump begins to form in my throat. Ian only stormed off a few hours ago. How could something have already happened to him? What happened? He was hit by a car. My heart drops. This can't be happening. Why is this happening? No. 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 I can't lose him. Not like this. Not after he just broke up with me. You said St. Daniel's Hospital, right? That's right. He's currently here in the emergency ward. I'll be right there. I end the call and rush towards the hospital on my motorbike, grabbing nothing but my jacket and helmet to shield me from the rain. Every red light, every raindrop on my visor, every annoying driver changing into my lane and slowing down. I won't let the universe stop me. I reached the hospital in record time and haphazardly parked beside the entrance. Bursting through the doors, I frantically look for someone to help me. I spot a middle-aged woman staring listlessly at a computer screen behind the front desk. The soles of my drenched boots squeak as I bolt towards her. Ian Ames. She jumps in her seat when I slam both hands on the counter. Her eyebrows become knitted when I shout out my boyfriend's, well, ex-boyfriend's name. Where is Ian Ames? I need to know that he's okay. Excuse you, there's no need to be running around, Please, it's an emergency. The receptionist clicks her tongue. Look at where you are. Everything's an emergency here. Other patients moan and groan as they're wheeled around the emergency ward. A woman with an eye patch sits quietly in the corner. Next to her is a man with a bleeding arm. I grit my teeth. I don't have time to waste waiting for some nobodies to be taken care of. I get you're worried, but oh boy. But causing a scene now wouldn't help me get to Ian any faster. Taking a deep breath to calm myself, I sigh as the receptionist rubs the bridge of her nose. Okay, from the top. Calmly this time. You said you're looking for Ian Ames, correct? And he's a patient here? Yes. She begins typing, at what feels like a sloth's pace, on her keyboard. And your connection to Mr. Ames? I hesitate. Boyfriend. I'm going to need to see some ID. She taps her long fingernails on the keyboard as she waits for me to take out my wallet. There it is, Harper Winds, New South Wales, Australia. She picks it up and gives it a once-over, narrowing her eyes at the photo before peering back at me. Your name is Harper Winds? Yes. Can I see him now? The receptionist doesn't look too pleased at being rushed. Please. She lets out an unnecessarily loud sigh as she types something into the computer. He's in room 201. She places my ID back on the counter. I grab it before she can even lift up her fingers. Thank you. I turn to leave, but soon realize I don't know my way around the hospital. Room 201's located on the 2nd floor. Go up the elevator and it's 3 doors to the right. I bolt towards the lifts, ignoring her faint sarcastic voice as she fades from my range of hearing. You're welcome. What a peach. I mean, I'm sure it's a horribly stressful job and you need to, meet rude people like that all the time, but yeah, oh well. Both sides are a bit meh. It feels like my heart could burst out of my chest at any moment now. The 2nd floor is less hectic than downstairs. The room is eerily quiet, save for the rhythmic beeping coming from the monitor. I approach the familiar sleeping body lying on the bed. Seeing Ian's bandaged body underneath the hospital gown sends stings of guilt straight to my heart. It's all my fault he is like this now. I could take back the last few hours, no, the last few weeks of our lives, then I would. Memories of recent events replay in my head. The yelling, the crying, the hurtful words. I would take them all back. I would take everything back. So, please, God, I'd do anything. Please, just let him wake up. I slowly make my way to the window and sit on one of the hard chairs. Staring back, I watch over Ian's unconscious body. Let me just quickly turn on the music a little bit, maybe? Okay. I wish I could apologize. But I'll have to wait until tomorrow. Right now, in the silent darkness of the air-conditioned room, exhaustion creeps over me. My heavy eyes begin to close as one last thought passes my mind. Hopefully, Ian will forgive me. Ow, my neck. My body feels stiff upon waking up. Yawning, I stretch both arms over my head before rubbing my neck where the muscles ache. I should have brought a pillow. My groggy eyes shift towards Ian. He's still asleep, chest rising and falling with even breaths. How long has it been since I last watched him like this? Quietly, peacefully. My growling stomach cuts through my train of thought. I should eat something. I stand up and get ready to leave for the cafeteria, when some muffled moaning grabs my attention. He stirs, slowly opening his eyes. Ian? I quickly rush to his bedside. His sleepy gaze eventually settles on me, and for the first time since last night, I breathe a sigh of relief. Sorry. It's always a bit hard for me to tell what will be too loud and what not. Ian, thank God you're awake. I wait and let him come to, giving him space to wake up. Where am I? I inch my hand closer to his, but I'm reluctant to hold it. You're in the hospital. Hospital? He groggily looks around at his surroundings. Why am I in the hospital? Ian, you were in a car accident. He takes a moment for the words to sink in. What? An accident? But I was... Ian frantically tries to sit, but ends up clutching his chest in pain. He groans in agony, shutting his eyes tightly. Ian, you should lie back down. You've been injured. He doesn't heed my words. Like a sudden downpour, a cold sheen of sweat forms on Ian's face. Panic fills his eyes as his shaking fingers grasp at the bedsheets, knuckles turning white. What happened to me? He groans again while hunching forward, clutching his right arm with his left. I reach for his shoulders. Ian, look at me. Let me... But he shoves my hands away, heavy breaths breaking the once peaceful atmosphere of the room. This is more than just his injuries. The sweat, the heavy breathing, the look on his face. He's having a panic attack. It's been a long time since he last had one. I should call for the nurse, but I refuse to leave him. Not again. I forcefully grab his shoulders, squeezing so hard I hear him wince at first, but I have to help him. He needs me. Let go of me. Let me... Look at me. His scared wide eyes finally meet mine. He is still heaving, lips trembling, but this time he doesn't push me away. Focus on breathing, Ian. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. I repeat the words over and over again like a mantra. Inhale. Exhale. Ian finally listens to me, doing as he's told. It starts off rough. I can still hear small grunts as he follows along. Good. Keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. You're doing good. As he continues to regulate his breathing, the shaking eventually ceases. Inhale. Exhale. And again. Inhale. Exhale. Good. It takes time, but minutes later his breathing has calmed again. Good, Ian. Good job. I'm so proud of you. He doesn't respond to my words, but his steady breathing lets me know that he'll be fine now. I slowly let go of his shoulders. His pale fingers unfurl, relaxing as he places both hands on his lap. Do you think you'll be okay now? He nods vacantly. Yes, I'm sorry about that. It's okay, Ian. It wouldn't be the first time I witnessed him having a panic attack. However, it has been almost a year since the last one. It's been a while since your last panic attack. I'm just glad we got through it together this time. A while? This time? Yeah. Last time you had one, I couldn't be there for you. Last time? Confusion fills his eyes. He focuses on his hands, trying not to let the panic resurface. I'm sorry, but, who are you? My stomach drops. What? Am I hearing him right? Have we met before? There's a lump in my throat. Come on, Ian. This isn't the time for jokes. His eyes show no sign of jest or lying. You really don't remember me? Ian shakes his head, his lips pressed into a hard line. I slam my hands on either side of Ian and lean over the bed, cornering him so that his eyes are fixated on me. Only me. Ian, look at me. Don't be playing games now, it's me. Cowering against the hospital bed like a frightened little mouse, Ian's shaky eyes scan me up and down, but no sign of recognition is given. Sorry, I really don't know who you are. What is the meaning of this? How has he forgotten me? I reluctantly returned to my seat, squeezing my right hand with my left, a coping mechanism I acquired at a young age. You're serious? He nods. I'm sorry. No, I shouldn't have scared you like that. Wow, some self-awareness there. My knuckles crack when I squeeze tighter than I realized. This happens often. What do you remember? The last thing I remember is... He lifts his hand to his temple, rubbing just above the spot where a bandage is plastered on his face. Oh, right. University. I was getting ready for the first day of university. I just finished packing my bag and then... He holds his head in both hands, straining to recall more. It seems that everything that transpired after that moment has been lost from his memory. Then what happened? He groans, the frustration of not remembering is evident on his face. That's the last thing I can remember. How long has it been since we first met, back in that very first week of university together? 3 years? 4? All those years, all those memories, gone. Every smile, every date, every kiss, gone. 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 All the laughs, all the arguments, all the fights, the screaming, the yelling, the cheating. Gone. You really don't remember me, Ian. He shakes his head again, his beautiful ruby eyes staring brightly at me, just like they did the first time we met, all those years ago. Before the neglect, before the arguments, before the cheating, before he broke up with me. Who are you? And there it is. We could lie and say I'm your boyfriend, or keep to the truth and say I'm your ex. Yeah. So again, in the early version of the demo, I did try out both of these, and yeah, the reactions are quite different, and I think both paths are worth exploring, but I'm gonna keep with my initial choice, which is just, yeah, keeping with the truth as much as possible, because I don't want to, yeah, I mean just in general, keeping to the truth is better, and you will not be caught up in a web of lies. And how can you, I mean, Harper wants to start over, right? And if you want to make a relationship work, honesty is kind of essential. So I'm gonna stick to the truth. I'm your ex. My name's Harper, and I'm your ex. The road that led us down this path, Ian dumping me and rushing out last night, it all started because I lied to him. I won't make that same mistake twice. My ex. Ian slowly blinks, giving himself time to process what I just said. Yeah, we broke up recently. Raising an eyebrow, his thin lips drop into a cautionary frown. It becomes evident that he doesn't believe me. But who can blame him when you wake up in a hospital to a stranger claiming to be an ex-lover? You're lying. I've heard those words before, but it hurts even more now that I'm actually telling the truth. I've never had a boyfriend before. Ian, you said the last thing you remember is getting ready to go to uni for the first time, right? He nods. That was nearly 4 years ago. You already graduated last year. Fear fills his face again. What? He tightly shuts his eyes and grits his teeth. I jump to his side and take his hands before he can have another attack. His palms are cold and clammy. Surprisingly, he doesn't fight me this time. Breathe. Take your time, Ian. I know this is a lot to take in. He does as he's told, gaze focused on our hands as his chest expands and deflates with every deep breath. Why don't I remember? His desperate eyes look to me for answers. I'm only speculating here, but you might have amnesia from the accident. His grip tightens. Why is this happening? So we can blame him, saying you shouldn't be driving, or amend and say it's my fault. Now, with this choice, it's kind of, maybe it could be both, but oh, by the way, I really appreciate these pointers in the brackets that really make it clear what you are choosing here, because sometimes in choice-driven games, you choose a reply option and what the character says is completely different to what you expected, so this is nice. And yeah, this is really not the place, not the time and place to blame Ian. And again, if you want to start over with a good relationship, that's not how we start out. So we want to make amends, so we're saying it's my fault. I'm sorry, Ian. It's all my fault. Ruby red eyes widen. Ian's hands quickly slip away from mine as he recoils in fear. What do you mean? Sitting back and giving Ian space, I fiddle with my hands in my lap. I take a deep breath as I carefully consider my next words. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have left our unit last night and driven out in the rain. You wouldn't have gotten hurt, and you wouldn't have forgotten all the years we spent together. I don't understand. What did you do? I turn away, eyes downcast, squeezing my right hand with my left. Conscience feels like heavy chains coiled around my body, restricting me, punishing me. I made a mistake. I did something terrible, and I regret how dumb and stupid I was. Ian doesn't say anything. I'm sorry. If only I had been able to say those words last night. There's a heavy silence that suffocates the room. The bedsheets rustle as Ian grips them again, before relaxing his fingers and preparing his next words. What did you do? I don't want to tell him the whole truth, at least not yet. I'm sorry. You keep apologizing. Because it's all I can do right now. I don't want to keep regretting my mistake and letting it fester within me. Another brief moment of silence follows. So you'll apologize because you regret what you did, but you won't tell me what you're apologizing for? Aren't you just apologizing for your own selfish satisfaction? No, Ian. I catch my tongue. He's doing it again. He takes everything I do and criticizes it, calls me selfish, and makes me out to be the bad guy. I mean, so far it sounds like you are the bad guy, but eh. If he wasn't like this to begin with, then I wouldn't have. No, stop it, Harper. Stop blaming Ian for your actions. Exactly. I take a painfully slow deep breath and exhale. I don't want to fight with him anymore. Not if it's going to lead to him getting hurt like this. I am sorry. I don't know what else to say. Ian's sharp eyes slowly soften, eventually accepting the situation. Fine. I'm not sure what happened, but at least you're willing to admit that you did something. That's a start. For him, it's a start, but for me, we're already past the end. We sit in awkward silence, the air between us heavy. When did it become so hard to talk to him? He stares at me blankly, already forgetting my name. Harper. Yes, Harper. I'm still having a hard time believing all of this. It's a lot to take in. Can I ask you some questions? Sure. Hopefully, I can alleviate some of his concerns. How did we meet? I think back to almost 4 years ago, a week after uni started. I was looking for a housemate to split the cost of rent, and you were the first to apply. Hello, I'm Ian. We spoke on the phone. Harper, come on in. He was so nervous. I couldn't understand why, until you explained it would be your first time moving out of home. How do we decide who does which chores? We can take turns or split them evenly. I'm fine with whatever. Oh, right. That makes sense. And who pays for food and toiletries? Buy your own food. We can split the cost of toilet paper and whatever. Oh, okay. And when is mealtime? Mealtime? Yes. Won't we be eating together? Why would we? I normally eat by myself. Oh, I see. You looked so disappointed, like a sad puppy that just got kicked to the ground. I think you probably had this idea that living away from home with a roommate was going to be all fun and games. But at the time, I was just looking for someone to split rent. The first few nights we cooked and ate our own meals, keeping to ourselves. But that Friday, I had an assignment to submit and skipped lunch. When I finally submitted it, I was too tired to cook dinner. I could smell the food you were cooking, and almost like a moth drawn to a flame, my body wandered on its own into the kitchen. You took one look at me, mentally exhausted and starving, and offered to share your dinner. Even after so many years, I still remember that first meal. One pot pasta with tomato, bacon and basil. You claimed it was nothing fancy, just something your grandma taught you, but God, it was delicious. After that, we ate dinner together once a week. Once a week turned into twice a week, then 4 times a week. Then we started eating breakfast together too. Eating together eventually turned into shopping together. We started commuting to and from university together, even though our classes didn't always line up. We started spending all our time together, And when you weren't around, I was incredibly lonely. When I asked you if we should start dating, you were shocked. You had such low self-esteem that you tried to convince me not to date you. You even cried when I told you I wanted you to be my boyfriend. Look at us now. Now I'm the one in tears. It feels like a lifetime ago. God, how long have I been talking for? Are you okay? Yeah, just remembering how things used to be with you. I inhale a slow breath, gathering enough courage to push the next few words out of my chest. With the Ian that I used to know. Ian sits quietly, letting my words sink in. I've seen enough Indonesia movies to know there's a very high chance he won't regain his memories. If that's the case, then the man that I lived with, fell in love with, and hurt, he no longer exists. And the person sitting in front of me right now is not my Ian. I'd like to hear more about the Ian that you used to know. For you to cry, you must have really loved me. Him, you must have really cared about him. Cared? Loved? No, that's not right. I still love Ian. Sure, I'll happily tell you about the Ian from the past 4 years. His thin lips curl into a soft smile. Oh, interesting. The Deathmore I played had some other choices, but yeah. I think this was still an extension of the conversations that I saw before. This concludes the end of the current demo. We plan to release an extended demo later this year. Ah, interesting. Any feedback, critiques or bug reports would be greatly appreciated. If you're interested in following Moral Retrograde's development, consider following Witpop on itch.io, Twitter and Discord. You can also support us by checking out our Patreon and Ko-fi pages. Will he remember? Okay, and there's the credits. Okay. Yeah, as I said, this was only a small glimpse into it, really. As usual, I'll have the link to the game on itch down in the description below. And you can try out the other path for yourself and see how Ian reacts if you tell him you're actually still together. It is quite different, but I don't want to, yeah, already take away everything. And you can check it out yourself. Or maybe you want to wait until the extended demo, I don't know. All these supporters, very good. But overall this is mainly a Solidov project, so I think this is always really, really amazing. Thanks for playing, thanks for making the demo. Okay, so yeah, and that's it for today. Yeah, as usual, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Which path would you choose? And yeah, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.